Hi, this is Will with My Spiritual Clarity, and this video is all about overwhelm. So, my clients, as healers and coaches and therapists, they want to get online more, but they have an inner freak out every time they try to be more visible, be more seen, promote their business, attract new clients. And so, one of the main things that comes up is overwhelm. Sometimes they feel inauthentic, sometimes it's feeling unsafe, but the overwhelm really shuts down the brain and gets in the way. So, often I'll have clients come to me and say something like, I feel overwhelmed when I start thinking about putting myself out there online. What can I do? So I have this handy resource that I've been developing over the last 2 years, and I call it my PDF cheat sheet for the 8 pillars of the imposter complex. And I go into that in more detail in other videos, but there are 8 pillars. The second one is overwhelm. So here's some of the things that I've noticed after working with around 600 clients around the world. These are the main patterns, the main energetic things that come up around overwhelm. So some of them are you're blocking the door to more coming in because you're trying to handle everything. So I think of this as the analogy of you've got a house party that you're having, but you forgot to clean. It's like one of those nightmares that you have, and you wake up in a sweat that you have sometimes. The house isn't clean, so you're trying to hold the door closed to any more coming as you clean at the same time, which of course is impossible. You're only one person. So it's that feeling of overwhelm. There's just too much coming in, so you try to shut it all down. So it's often about trying to look good. So usually when we're overwhelmed, we're trying to look good. We're trying to not be too vulnerable, not make mistakes, trying to get it all done, trying to do it all ourselves, and that obviously leads to overwhelm. So preoccupation with perfectionism, and usually keeping too much in your head. It's all there with you. You haven't shared it with others. The other way to think of this is you're taking too much responsibility. And I really find this is the energetic root of overwhelm. And this is where I do the belief clearing with my clients, identifying the limiting belief around trying to look good, trying to not look bad, and taking too much responsibility. So it could be on the macro. You could feel responsible for the whole world, for the suffering, the pain that's happening in the world. I know I spent a lot of time myself in that space, and I was overwhelmed. I couldn't figure out should I. It was a couple decades ago. Should I go to theater school or should I go and build houses in third world countries? Because I really felt like I had to save the world. Going back to that first video of the helper's paradox, I thought I had to save the world. And talk about white savior syndrome. Now I call it the helper's paradox. So I was taking too much responsibility for the world. So maybe that's you as well, or maybe too much responsibility for your family, for your kids, or for your clients. So very often I find that overwhelm happens for healers. They may only have 2 or 3 clients. They may only be doing one class right now, but they're very overwhelmed. But the overwhelm is because they're taking too much responsibility for those clients that they have. So they can't allow in any new clients or any new business because they're overwhelmed with what they're doing right now. Okay, so does that resonate? Does that land? Does that feel true for you and your experience of overwhelm? Just take a moment and check in. So what can you do about overwhelm? Well, here's my energetic practice for this. And I call it pushing and pulling. Now, energy pulling, I first learned from Access Consciousness and Shiraz Babu in Toronto, both amazing sources. But I hope this video will be great. And you can look deeper if you want to, but the idea is that this video is a standalone for you. So pushing and pulling. So you can notice when you're overwhelmed or there's too much going on, taking too much responsibility potentially, we start to push through life. We start to push through our days, try to get it all done ourselves, taking on too much responsibility, push, 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 push. You know what that feels like. If you're exhausted or dealing with any kind of adrenal fatigue, you know what that's like, the pushing. So what you want to do is get back into a pull. You want to be pulling energy. And I have meditations for this, free ones on my website and paid ones as well, so you can practice this. But basically what you're doing is noticing when you are leaning forward and you're trying to push or push an outcome, try to make something happen, and it's exhausting. So when you pull energy, you're able to actually relax back and you're able to pull that energy to you from any direction. You can pull energy through from the universe through another person to you. I do this with clients all the time as a way to stay connected and really present to what they really need. I'm doing it right now in this video to stay connected to you watching this video, although I don't know who you are, but the you that I have in my mind as I'm making this video, pulling energy from the whole universe through you through this video, not to manipulate, but to stay connected so that I don't go off on tangents and say something that I think is really great, but has nothing to do with you. So pulling that energy gets you connected. And I find when I'm overwhelmed, if I do that practice, even without anyone else around, just doing that practice myself, the overwhelm literally either vanishes or diminishes greatly. The second thing you can do is Well, there's a clearing that I'm going to offer you as well. But the other thing you can do is ask for help. I got this process from my colleague and friend Tad Hargrave with Marketing for Hippies. So he applies it to marketing. When you're feeling overwhelmed in your marketing and you're in the course with him, you take 5 minutes and you ask for help from everyone you can think of. And how much help should you ask for? He says, well, the most effective is to ask for an embarrassing amount of help. And I find when I do this, new opportunities come, the overwhelm goes away because I'm back in connection with others. I'm no longer just in my own head, in my own experience. I'm connected with others again. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to give you before I tell you about what the next video is going to be about, I want to offer a belief clearing. And this belief clearing is an all the ways. So there's a couple different ways I do these. I'm not going to go into detail right now. I'm just going to throw this one out there, give it a try, see how it lands, and then you can watch more videos where I describe in detail how this process works. But for now, I'm just going to throw this at you and see how it goes. So here's the clearing. And it's a yes or a no. All the ways that this is for overwhelm, all the ways that you find personal value, satisfaction, or significance by being people's go-to for problems or challenges. Woo! A lot of energy on that. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? And that can lead to a lot of overwhelm. Again, going back to the helper's paradox, which is why that comes first. If you are getting your significance or your value in life or feeling good by the help that you give, not contribution, those are different things, but that was another video, then you're going to get overwhelmed. So I hope this has been helpful. The next video, we're going to be talking about when my clients come to me and say, I feel unsafe and I get caught up worried about what other people might think when I post online. And next video will be dealing with that and how you can overcome it or move through it gracefully. This is Will with My Spiritual Clarity, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.